Ethical AI in legal practice, challenges in law. Rise of artificial intelligence in the legal profession, opportunities and ethical challenges. Abstract. Artificial intelligence, AI, is profoundly transforming professions worldwide, with the legal domain keeping in line with such transformation. From automating mundane legal tasks to streamlining complex legal research, AI indeed presents opportunities to change operational efficiency and decrease costs. But such advantages also come with ethical and legal baggage, including algorithmic bias, accountability, and the negation of traditional legal roles. This article will look into the whole spectrum of AI development in legal practice, its merits, and ethical and regulatory issues associated with it. It further looks into how legal education and professional norms must change to allow for AI-induced changes. Weighing the opportunities against the challenges shall justify the call for an ethical and responsible promotion of AI in law. Keywords: artificial intelligence, legal technology, AI in law, legal ethics, predictive analytics, legal research automation, contract review AI regulation, law and technology, virtual legal assistance. Introduction. In recent years, what used to be legal practices have been completely overturned by artificial intelligence. Automated document review to predictive analytics, AI is changing the way legal professionals think about their work. This isn't just about replacing paper with pixels, it's the beginning of a new way of delivering, accessing, and experiencing legal services. As law firms around the world begin to embrace AI solutions, we are also seeing both unprecedented opportunities and equally complex ethical challenges. These are new ones that we have to pay attention to as well. AI comes with its own privacy, accountability, and legal judgment questions. With this technological revolution, there is potential as well as pitfalls, which is why every legal professional has to understand as we go deeper into this. The application of AI in law. In the present day of the contemporary legal practice, artificial intelligence, AI, has been gaining prominence in terms of efficiency, precision, and widening the reach of legal services. Implementation of it is spread across multiple critical domains. Legal research and analytics. Artificial intelligence platforms such as Ross Intelligence and LexisNexis allow legal professionals to quickly identify relevant statute, case law, and precedential decisions through natural language processing technologies that increase efficiency of legal research. Document review and e-discovery. The process of artificial intelligence streamlines the discovery phase of legal proceedings by speeding up the process of document analysis and electronic discovery, which in turn saves a lot of time and resources. Contract review and automation. Solutions like Kira systems and Logix assist legal practitioners to perform systematic contract review for potential issues, missing provisions, and risk improving precision in the execution of due diligence and regulatory compliance tasks. Predictive analysis. Artificial intelligence is able to analyze historical legal judgments to predict potential outcome of a case, and in this way, offer legal professionals key insights into making better strategic planning. Virtual legal assistance. As artificial intelligence-enabled chatbots and automated applications are available to support clients in performing routine legal tasks such as preparing simple documents and responding to simple legal questions, legal services are becoming more accessible to the general public. Benefits of AI integration. Artificial intelligence in the legal profession has a lot of substantial advantages. AI improves efficiency. It automates labor-intensive work like document review, legal research and contract analysis, allowing lawyers to focus more on the subtle and strategic work, optimizing routine procedures. AI implementation reduces expenditures for law firms and their clients in cases of extensive litigation or due diligence, as it helps in lowering operational expenses, eliminates human error. Artificial intelligence tools eliminate the risk of human error since they consistently process enormous data sets with high accuracy, resulting in more trustworthy outcomes. AI-powered accelerated decision-making. AI's rapid information processing and predictive capabilities on the outcome of the legal case allow legal professionals to make better informed decisions faster. Access to legal assistance. The application of artificial intelligence in chatbots and virtual assistants, providing basic legal support to people who are financially unable to afford traditional legal assistance, facilitates the continuity of the rule of law, ethical and legal concerns. As AI is increasingly embedded in legal processes, some ethical and legal issues have gained prominence. Among the most pressing is bias in AI systems, which tends to be a reflection of the data on which they are trained. If this data mirrors historical inequities or systemic biases, the AI, without knowing, will replicate those patterns, and thus produce unjust results, particularly in predictive analytics. Another big issue is accountability. When AI technology gives bad counsel or makes poor predictions, the question of liability becomes hard to answer. The creator, the legal expert who applies the tool, or the firm that deploys it. Data protection and privacy are also problems, as legal AI systems are usually handling sensitive and confidential information that needs to be protected against breaches or exploitation. In addition, there is a possibility that overly relying on AI may ultimately erode human judgment and moral reasoning, the two aspects that play a very important role in intricate or emotionally charged legal issues. Finally, the legal profession lags in regulation. The fast development of AI has left its creation of sound guidelines behind, creating a regulatory gap that instills uncertainty regarding its correct and ethical application in a legal environment. Regulation and policy considerations. The growing application of AI in the practice of law requires extensive regulation and coherent policy guidelines to facilitate its ethical and optimal deployment. As there are potential risks involved in AI, including bias, privacy infringements, and liability concerns, it is imperative that legislators develop regulations that provide for transparency, equity, and accountability in AI systems. Procedures should require auditing of AI programs to detect and eliminate any form of bias and ensure they meet standards of justice and non-discrimination. Adequate emphasis also needs to be placed on securing sensitive information with policies that require strict data protection laws and ensure client confidentiality. In addition, as legal decision-making is increasingly impacted by AI tools, there must be certain regulations on human supervision to ensure lawyers retain professional judgment and ethical responsibility in utilizing AI. Finally, the international nature of AI technology requires international cooperation in establishing consistent standards, avoiding regulatory fragmentation across borders. Implementing these frameworks will not only safeguard clients and practitioners but also enhance public confidence in the legal system's embracement of cutting-edge technologies. The future of law with AI. The future landscape of law, in light of artificial intelligence, will embrace sweeping changes in the role of legal service delivery. I will prove to enhance efficiency through the automation of several mundane tasks, including legal research, document review, and contract analysis, thus allowing lawyers to focus their attention on strategic, client-centered activities. The vast potential of AI to analyze great quantities of data in an immensely reduced time frame facilitates the concentration of legal professionals on more strategic and client-centered work. Predictive analytics powered by historical case data will allow lawyers to make more informed choices, and AI tools such as virtual assistants will improve access to legal services for disadvantaged populations via the automated generation of documents. The increasing presence of artificial intelligence in law will raise many challenges. One of these is a concern about bias arising when the AI systems mirror the training data with respect to, say, race, gender, or class and thereby render an unjust or discriminatory decision. Fairness, transparency, and accountability in AI systems can, therefore, assist in mitigating such risks. Data privacy is another concern, as AI applications possess considerable potential to encroach upon client confidentiality and should be protected from breaches in a very strong way. Artificial intelligence may be able to automate many of the tasks, but it cannot substitute for the human components of legal practice encompassing ethical reasoning, empathy, and judgment in many difficult and complex matters. Thus, the legal profession will have to undergo transformation, involving upskilling in the responsible deployment of AI while ensuring that human intervention remains paramount. As AI becomes ever more deeply ingrained in the legal realm, the profession shall be faced with the challenge to strike a balance between innovation and caution. Appropriate regulation and international collaboration must be formulated to tackle the ethics, laws, and privacy considerations that rise in light of the global advent of AI technology. If used responsibly, AI could drive with unprecedented efficiency, accessibility, and equality in legal systems around the world and provide new windows of opportunity for legal practitioners and their clientele. Case laws. Justice K.S. Puttaswamy, retired, versus Union of India, 2017. The seminal case Justice K.S. Puttaswamy, retired, versus Union of India, 2017, 10 SCC 1 definitively established the right to privacy as a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. This judgment has far-reaching implications for the application of artificial intelligence in legal practice, specifically regarding data protection and informational privacy. As more legal documents and client data are processed by AI tools, the standards established in this case, legality, necessity, and proportionality, become essential measures of ethical deployment. Legal AI systems need to ensure that data is gathered and processed with proper legal authority, for legitimate ends, and with sufficient protection against misuse or breaches. The Puttaswamy case therefore gives us a constitutional roadmap that is obligated to inform the development, deployment, and regulation of AI technologies in the legal space in a way that preserves individual rights in an AI-enabled legal future. Anuradha Bhasin v. Union of India, 2020. The case of Anuradha Bhasin v. Union of India, 2020. 3 SCC 637 is noteworthy in the light of digital rights and constitutional freedoms in the age of the Internet. The Supreme Court, in this case, ruled that freedom of speech and expression and the right to practice any profession or trade, business or occupation over the Internet are protected rights under Articles 19(1)(a) and 19(1)(g), respectively. The court was clear that limits on these rights have to be legal, necessary, and proportionate. This ruling is applicable to the use of artificial intelligence in the legal profession, particularly when AI systems are utilized in a manner affecting access to information or digital legal services. It reaffirms the doctrine that every AI-based system, especially those employed by judicial institutions or law enforcement agencies, should be operated within constitutional limits, promoting transparency, accountability, and the least restrictive means while curtailing digital freedoms. The Anuradha Bhasin case therefore reinforces the appeal for responsible regulation and ethical application of AI in legal practice, especially in upholding access to justice and safeguarding civil liberties in the virtual world.